monthly meeting. So this is the first of our fall meetings. We're out for the summer. We usually start our meetings with land acknowledgement. This land where we live was historically Tutelo-Monacan. However, ancestors or ourselves arrived here in the New River Valley. We're learning a new way of managing the land for biodiversity, which connects us all to who lived on this land and will live on this land. This gift of native habitats that were managed so well for tens of thousands of years by the Tutelo-Monacan people and their ancestors now needs all of us working together to preserve it for future generations. So this evening at our meeting, we have a few business things afterwards, but the great part about this meeting is we have a presenter, Sarah Wines, and she's a member of the New River chapter of the Virginia Master Naturalists. So she'll be presenting about an app, the Virginia Flora app, that allows you to identify well over 3,100 plants, both native and non-native, that live here in the state of Virginia. So if you have it on your phone, you can follow it. If you don't have it, it's $20 to add it either to your iPhone or your Android phone. So, Sarah, the floor is yours. Yes.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like you can't see me on the screen.
Oh,
but does this project through the Zoom?
No, but they're able to follow your slideshow.
Okay. All right. Okay, so this is officially called the Flora of Virginia Act. And I'm doing this presentation through the Flora of Virginia Ambassador Program. So what that means is that I've gone through specific training so that I know not just how to use one part of it, but all the different parts of it so that I can show other people. But I should tell you that this is the first time I've done this. So I'm welcoming feedback when I finish so that again, I can do it better. So I just need to learn how to use it. Okay. So the three organizations that are working together are the New River chapter of the Virginia Native Plant Society, the New River Master chapter of the Virginia Master Naturalists, and the Flora of Virginia Project. So our agenda tonight will be just a general introduction to the Flora of Virginia, tour of the Flora app using all the different tabs, I guess you could call them, and then we'll do a demo, and I'll try to tailor it to what you want. So I could do a really detailed demo with you too. So the Flora Virginia Project is a 501c3 charitable organization that was founded in 2001, and a lot more by going to the app. And it started way back in 1762. Using collections of the colonial botanist John Clayton. And the Flora of Virginia Project was founded in 2001 with the mission, singular mission, to publish a modern flora that was like this one. 200 or something like that. And all of that data was published in the Flora of Virginia book in 2012, and then the Flora app was made in 2017, so that's how long it's been. It includes all the stuff in the book plus other stuff. And once it is downloaded, you don't need Wi-Fi service or cell service. Be out in the field anywhere, and it provides descriptions and pictures and drawings and range maps for 3,344 species. 2 different kinds of keys for identification. We will look at those. And as I said before, it's available on iOS and Android. It lives on your device. And so opening screen looks like this. If you want to open your app, look at the opening screen. We're not going to actually be using it. We're going to mostly be just talking about it at first, but it will probably help you if you can follow along with the slides. Just kind of stay with me, then it'll probably, if you're like me, it'll sink in better. Actually. So, this is what you'll see when you first open the app. You'll see the well, before the menu, you usually get another screen. It's just one that kind of says welcome. I don't remember what it says, and I can't go back to it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Some programs call it splash screen.
yeah, something, yeah, whatever, anyway. But then you immediately get the menu. This is what the top opening menu looks like with these links. Okay. So in the first section, it's called Browse Plants and Favorites. And in this section, you can view thumbnails of every single one of those 3,044 plants. They're in alphabetical order. There's the alphabetical key on the right-hand side. And it's very flexible because you can look by the common name, you can look by the scientific name, you can look by the family name or the genus. So you can type in all those things and it will bring up the ones that fit what you want. Then when you click on one, you can go to the full-size photo, description of the plant, and arrangement. We'll look at all that up close. And then you can scroll through the images, and if you find a plant that you mark somehow, there's a star. So the next screen menu is the graphic key. This allows you to identify an unknown plant using an illustrated set of options. And it was designed to simplify the use of the app. So what is different from this in the book is that the book can't have a graphic key. So the app has that advantage over that's got a graphic key. And you can see how plants are organized. And every time you choose a search option, it will tell you how much you've narrowed it down. We'll tell you how much you've narrowed it down. So after you make a choice, it may start out with like 350 plants. Then you choose another thing and it might go down to 50. And you keep going down. And sometimes by the time you get to genus, you may have to have one choice. You may not even have to get to the species. It's because remember, it's just Virginia. So plants that don't live in Virginia are not in here. Anyway, so it keeps reducing that. And the graphic key includes 11 major plant groups. They are ferns and fern allies. We'll look at this in just close in just a second. Grass-like plants, wildflowers like monocots, wildflowers like dicots, and woody plants. So this is how they match up. The number of species at the top will decrease as the characteristics are selected. So as you go across from left to right, if you're on the app and you put your finger cursor on the first one, it will tell you what that is. But once you learn them, you don't need that because you look at the picture incorrectly. First one is ferns. Next one is, I wish I had a pointer, but no. Fern allies. Next one is grasses. Next one is sedges. Next one is rushes. The next one is type of monocots that are specifically for orchids. So you have to, if you don't know that, you can back up and key and find out the difference. In other words, you can click on orchids, figure out what makes an orchid different from other things. And then the next is other monocots beside orchids. So that would be things with parallel veins and three parts. So you know. And then the next two dicots, you've got first the composites and things in the aster family. That's the yellow one. And then the next one is other dicots, and then broad-leaved woody plants. That includes shrubs or woody vines. Although, yeah, it has to be really woody for it's going to be in that category. And then needleweed. And then once you've chosen that, it takes you through other conservation, the light regime, the moistures. Okay, we'll look at that up close later. Then the next one is organization of plants by botanical characteristics. That's the dichotomous. So this one is specifically used for botanists and biologists because they're systematically identifying flora with the called technical terms. That you can see what the kinds of things they say. There's words probably not going to meaning to. It's your meaning. Too young, no. And all those words on the app have links, have hot links to philosophy. So you don't have to actually don't have to like, you just put your finger on a hot link to the philosophy. It's a pop-up that tells you. Another major advantage of using the Flora app rather than in addition to other apps is the section called Natural Communities. This section helps users understand where and why Virginia's native plants assemble. Natural Communities organizes plants into groups based on ecology, features of geology, altitude, presence of water, soil composition, all that. Natural communities are associations of plants that reoccur predictably and a means of describing the landscape using plants as survey. So it's a plant sociology section. And this info was acquired by the monitoring done by the Department of Conservation Resources and Natural Heritage Division, 4,700 plants. So it's pretty well researched. So this info is organized into 5 systems, 82 ecological communities, 308 community types. And so if you don't know anything about that, you can browse in this portion of the app and learn a lot about systems and ecological types. So here is a close-up of the range map for the ecological community of Mountain Piedmont City Woodlands, which is in the class of communities called, I wrote that, which is in the class of communities called low elevation woodlands bearing rock forms, which is in the system called terrestrial. So that's how that works on this side. And this is the key to how common it is in those places. So if you're looking for a plant and you find out that it, you know, that portion of the Virginia that you're in is white for a certain kind of system. Okay, so within each community description, the native plants are highlighted in blue, hyperlinked. That's not this page, but we'll see that in a minute. You can generate a list of species for each type of community. And then if you're curious about it, you can also look up state and global rankings. So if you're looking at this one, the community type is again, Mountain Piedmont Acidic Woodlands. It has 4 specific community types. And the first one is called, I have to go down a little bit, Central Appalachian Xeric Chestnut Oak Virginia Pine Woodland. See that? The second one is Appalachian Xeric Pine Outcrop Woodland. Third one is Riverside Bedrock Terrace Woodland, and the fourth one is Mountain Shortleaf. So those are the specific community types in this larger group. And the key to that, I don't know where the key to it is, but I can tell you what it is. It's fairly obvious. G3 means globally vulnerable. G1 means critically imperilled globally, and G2 is in the middle. So, and S3 works the same way. The state ranking is S3. It means imperiled. If it's S1, it's vulnerable. S. What just happened?
All right, you still have your. Oh, you still see it on your phone.
Technology.
They're both on the same network.
Just yeah, turned off connection. This thing, which I don't want to know how to use AirPlay. I want to connect to the Wi-Fi.
Sarah, are you able to plug your phone into the computer and then share it that way?
No, because I have an Apple.
Okay. While I'm on, I think the Zoom background is blurred. Could someone turn that off if you figure out the AirPlay issue?
How do we get this to go back?
Okay. Yeah, I don't have, pretty sure. Yeah, because blur my background's not checked, see?
If I press this, it should make the connection. It says there's a check saying.
The same connects to your phone.
Okay. Should get us
Now
right.
you've got, yeah, you can see your phone.
I don't know why it turned off. Okay. Fight it. I'm supposed to get a screen that asks me a question. There's my slideshow. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I don't know. Okay. Okay, well, I'll just review that again. So the rankings, 4 means apparently secure to secure. If it's G, it's global. It's S, it's state. That's what the letters mean here. 4 means apparently secure to secure, and the range might be uncommon or widespread, but it's secure. 3 means imperiled. 2 means 3 means vulnerable. 2 means imperiled. 1 means critical. So it goes that direction. So if there's a community that's S1, that means it's critical. Okay, then the next category is botanical health. And that has just kind of a simple page that lists plant families, plant genera, and then flower basics, which just gives you all the names of the basic parts of flowers, basic parts of leaves. And glossary, which is all those words in all those descriptions. It includes these single page illustrations. There's the flower parts there. There's the types of leaves there. See, the ones you don't know. And then the information is cross-referenced. And whatever's cross-referenced or whatever words you don't know, just blue means it sent you. So this one is for the pawpaw. And if you want to know what other, how many genuses are in the family the pawpaw is in, there's that. Species are in the family, there's that. If you want to find out how the dichotomous key gets you to the pawpaw, there's dichotomous key. Any of those words you don't understand, you hold your finger on them, the definitions. And I forgot to say. Holler it out. Okay. And then here's the information that you get. At the bottom of the screen, you see images, description, and range map. So if you click description, this is what you get for every single plant. You get a description of the plant using all those words. You get its phenology when it blooms, and I guess in this case it fruits. habitat status, any other comments, which can sometimes be useful in final identification. And then at the bottom, the search characteristics are the things on the graphic key that would take you there. So if you know what a plant, one thing that we'll probably do on Saturday for anybody who goes on that field trip out at Heritage Park is you'll probably start with a plant that you know what it is. You go through the dichotomous key, and if you don't come out right, then you can go back and figure out. Then you have this range map, and a red dot means that it's been found there. A blue dot means it's been introduced, and nothing means uncertain. But you should know that just because it hasn't been found there and reported on the Flora Virginia app doesn't mean that's not there at all. So just because there's not a red dot there doesn't mean necessarily that. It just gives you an idea of where you expect. And then if you press images at the bottom, this is what you get from images. You get different kinds of images. You get close-ups, more distant ones, fruit, flower, and then a drawing. Sometimes the drawing is the most helpful because the pictures may not always be effective. Then the next tab is reference library. And this is a whole range of topics. And this is where its connection with the book makes good sense. History of botanical exploration in Virginia, the nature of Virginia flora, 50 hot spots for Virginia field botany. That's kind of a cool one because you can click on that one and it takes you to 6 Virginia regions. So if you're trying to find a hot spot in some place you're going, pick that region and it'll tell you where the hot spots are in that region. I did go to it yesterday and found out that one of the things that they said was hot spots. I don't want to go there. I've been online. So that's also a possibility, but I think most of them are. And then the next one is new. This one is not. Use the app to pick natives for your yard. It's not in the book. That was added just for the app. And the way, and I can show you how to do that later. You go to the graphic key and think about things, characteristics you like in plants you like to plant, and follow through that. And this is just the About Us button. So if you find a mistake, or if you have something you want to add, or a question you want to ask, or find out what the acknowledgements are, how to donate, how to contact the designers, all that stuff. Okay, any questions about that? That's the summary, and then we can try it. Are you ready to do that? Okay, here's your plant. This is a plant that the photograph was taken from the eye level. The plant itself is the green vine growing on a woody thing. I think it's an alder because it's got these little stuff on it. This is a leaf. This is a compound leaf. This is flower. Okay, so what we do now is we open up the app. No. App. Flora app. This is the page. Did you see that for a second? That was the page I was trying to tell you. And then you immediately get to the menu, and we're going to use the graphic key. The graphic key is much easier to use. The dichotomous key, like I said before, is for botanists, or if you just cannot tell the difference between two things. So we're going to use the graphic key. And plants are divided to 11 major groups. So normally you know which group it's in. Let's just look at this to show what I'm talking about. It's not a fern. It's not a grass. So tell me what it is. Let me find I get to the right thing. Monocots are orchids and non-graminoid. You know what non-graminoid is. Dicots in the composite family, or in the other family, all kinds of groups. And then woody plants. So what category is this plant? Let's go back. Let's go to the icons. Which of these icons should I pick? Needle-leaved woody plants, Broadleaf woody plants, well, let's go back at the picture, let's look at the picture. In the picture, the woody thing is a tree, it's an alder. And the thing we're looking at is green, it's a vine. It's not woody. It's- So what would you pick? Sorry. Which of those categories is it? Let's do one at a time. Is it a needle leaf woody plant? Broadleaf woody plant? A dicot? It's not a composite, right? So it's this. Okay. Now, it was not at this location. It was at in Bath County. So tap to select. And then you pick Bath County. If I'm getting ahead of you, raise your hand and I'll.
How did you get to this screen?
Oh, sorry.
Because I could.
Thank you. Yes. Well, by begin, that tells you the various families.
Right.
So if you know what family it's in, which you almost always do, because these are really broad families, ferns and fernalias, grasses, sedges, and rushes. That's right there. It's not if it's not a fern or cornelia, it's not a grass, sedge, or rush. It's not an orchid or other monocot, and it isn't. We have composites, dicots, and woody plants. But that's it. If you know whether it's one of those, then you go back to this screen. And thanks for asking. And you press skip. Sorry. Thank you for mentioning that because I just did it. And then that takes you to this page. Then you have these things to choose among. And we're going to choose, and you don't have to remember what these pictures are because like I said, you touch them and it tells you what it is. And you're not looking for a picture that looks like your plant, you're looking for the correct description. These are just icons. Is everybody with me now? Push this, and then we tap to select, and it should open up the counties, and then you pick Bath County. Everybody there? Moisture is thing. I'll tell you where it was. It was on the shore of a lake. It's not in the water. So you could pick moist. Let's pick moist. I'll tell you that if a plant grows in more than one of those places, you don't have to get the right answer. You put it where you think it is, and it will, if it grew in water and wet places and moist places and dry places, you can answer any of those answers. Right. So I've narrowed it down now to 2,319. The light regime for that plant, you need to look at the picture. I am so bad. Again. There's the picture. So the sun is sort of shining on it in this picture, but there's trees all around. So I think it'd be safe to say partial shade. Probably okay to say sun. Y'all think so? Agree with that? We'll go back to there and we'll click partial shade. And you don't, and it is a native plant, but there's no way I would have known that. So, and let's go.
I'm down to 944. I think we might have hit the versions because I have what you got, and I noticed that I have more options at the bottom than she does.
Oh, I do too. I'm trying to find them. So we did, I got to Bath County, moist place, and then light regime, partial shade. There they are. Okay. So we're down to 944. I don't know what happened. Came back. This picture was taken in August. So you don't have to know when it blooms. You just, if it's blooming now, you just push that button. Or you could say use current. Okay, so what do I put under habit? Fine. Okay. Yeah. It was climbing, it was this high. Now, I can't tell you what the stem characteristics are because I do not know. I looked up this plant and it turns out they can be either smooth or hairy, so it really is okay to skip this question. And you can easily, there aren't any thorns. So now we need to go back to the picture. Is it alternate or opposite or floral? please. It's not gonna do that. How did I do this?
I thought that you went back to selecting the device from the list.
Yes, okay, I should not have to do that.
It's a feature. It's what we call mistakes in software.
Yeah, but that's not the first question. First question is whether it's alternate or opposite. And I wish I could bring up the picture. Loaded now. There's. No, that's not what I clicked. Did it come up for a second?
I- Yep.
Once I click this,
Before,
it should
same
ask.
thing, you had that screen where you pop up and say, it is connected to your phone. And we just saw that for a moment. So it is connected. It's-
If I press this for screen mirroring,
You can go wait.
it's on. But I'm supposed to get this, there it is.
Yeah.
Thank you. I swear it doesn't operate the same way every time. And why does it keep stopping it? Then you have to wait for it to load. It's just loading. All right. Okay. Slide 24. Should appear. Come on. I can see it. Otherwise, it's not on the screen. There it
There we
is.
go.
Okay, so is it opposite or alternate? I'm sorry, this.
I think it's all.
Yeah, because here's a leaf and opposite is a balloon, not a leaf. Here's a leaf, it looks right in there somewhere. Here's a leaf that leaf up there, looks in right there. So you're right, it is alternate. Hopefully we won't lose it when we go back. The leaf arrangement is alternate. Then leaf type. First one is undivided, the second one is lobed or separated into leaflets, which is what it is, right? We press that. Leaf shape. Now by leaf shape, it means the shape of the whole compound leaf. So the leaf shape of this one, how would you describe it? Go back to the picture. This is the best version. So it's definitely longer than it is wide, but it's not what one would call narrow. Does that make sense? So if you click on the leaf shapes, the first one is length is 3 times width. Second one is 1 to 3 times the width. And the third one is length is less than. So which one of those is it? Wide, narrow, or intermediate? Yes, that's what I would pick. Then now we're doing the shape of the leaflet. Can you go back to the picture? Okay. Hold them up. Leaflet shape. And then your head. Go back to this. So which is the leaflet shape? It's again 3 times the width. 1 to 3 times the width, less than Yeah, I think that works. Yep. And then the leaflet margin, did you catch that? Or did you look at the picture? Good, good, y'all are good. Okay, we're paying attention. Flower symmetry? Yes, okay. And then what color? I know, and mauve is not on there. So what it tends to do in this case is pick more than one color that sort of adds together. So which colors would you can't pick more than one, but you can pick one or the other and it will, it'll take you to the right place. That's the way it works. You cannot make more than one choice in even in the graphic. So white, pink, red, orange, yellow, green, purple, maroon, or brown. Okay, now keep in mind, I need to go back one. Where'd my picture go? My picture went away. Keep in mind that the picture was taken in the sun. Picture was taken in the sunlight. So the ones that are really bright is probably not accurate on the ones that are in the shade of sunny. I think it will come up any minute. You can look at my one on my phone.
We can eliminate the ones that have zero fans.
Good point, Carol. That's that is important. You can use things like that. That is a really good thing to keep in mind. So you're right. So we have 6 at this point. We haven't chosen the color. So we could, nothing to stop us from pressing show and finding out, looking at which one looks most alike. That's completely allowed. If you want to try the color and you try red, there are none. Pink, there are 2. You can look at show and see if they look anything like yours. You can try white. There's 5, but it's not white. Pretty clearly not white. It's not yellow or green, and there aren't any in those categories anyway. So we're probably better off going down to this end, either this color or this color. Right, and under brown, there's only 1. So which one you want to try first?
Oh, I think we should do one.
Either way, both they're all allowed. So if we do maroon and we say show, if we get these 5 that come up, one of them looks. Does any one of them look more like the flower we're looking at? We go back to the picture.
Right.
Yeah. So I shouldn't. Anyway, y'all can do it. Press brown, so which one it brings up, see if it looks like the plant. So then at that point, you bring up the plant. This. Bring up the plant. Hit ground up. Now you can either look at images, which is flowers, and then a single one of the flower, picture of the vine, picture of the nut, and then a drawing, which to me looks exactly. If I were to draw that photo that I had there, it would look exactly. You can read the description, see if anything is alarming about what it says. Stream banks, low meadows. Gives examples.
Where does it say viney or something? Yeah, viney.
Perennial vine is the very first word on the description.
Oh, okay.
Stems climbing to 2 meters or more. This was, like I said, on 5'9". It was right here. When I took the picture. So, and then if you want to be sure, you can go to range map. Bath County, I think, is this one here. Red dot there. Okay, are y'all satisfied with how that worked? Okay. Okay. Go back to my slideshow. So then, it's 8 o'clock. I don't know what y'all's time frame is. Go to the next. Come on. There it is. Okay. Oh, no, that's. Okay, so the other thing we can do is to look at that dichotomous key. I'm gonna leave that choice to y'all. It's a 15-minute video that she calls soup to nuts, and by soup to nuts, she means gets into the nitty gritty. It's a plant you probably heard of, but it's not a plant you're gonna recognize when you see it up on the screen. She's gonna walk you through every single step of the dichotomous. If you wanna learn how to do that, I will show you that video. It's not necessarily boring if you follow along. If you don't follow. Wanna go for it? Okay. Yep. Right. Figure out how to. I forgot how to do this. There's my link. Think for a second. This is a little bit. You have any ideas? How do I get to that link? My finger's not small enough to open that link.
Yeah, no, make this.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to do.
Uh,
There is another way to do it that my son told me.
Could you put the link in the chat so we can see it online?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Could you put the link in the chat so we can follow it online?
Yeah, once.
The link in the chat. Oh, right. Got it. Well, if I can get it copied. I just need to think for a second. What it is I'm supposed to do. Oh, I know. I remember what I'm supposed to do. There it is. Here we go. Okay, I have it now.
This link, this is action on your Google Drive.
Yeah, somewhere.
Okay, so if it's not shared,
Copy.
people won't have access to it unless you share. your
Right, so
Google
I've
Drive.
copied it, so I should be able to put it in my browser and in the chat.
You can't put it in the chat, you're not linked to Zoom.
I'll read the link. Thanks. Okay. I'm gonna open it and then I'm gonna see if I can do that.
I'll type it.
Let me try it. Okay. So, I'm looking for one of these emails that has a website. There's more than one way to do this, but I'm not finding any of those. I had all this figured out.
Are these the ones listed in the Vimeo chapter?
Yes.
Oh, okay, can you get to it in there?
How do I get?
It's the VNPS.org, and it's resources. And it's.
Oh, it's on Vimeo. It might not be.
We might not be on the.
What I'm looking, there's a page that's just called, that I was sent. That had all the links. Here. Oh, here it is. There we are. Master plan. Just when I find it. Huh. Here we are. Oh, yeah.
I think I found it. It's the Vimeo page for the Flora. It's 15 minutes long.
15.
Is this the slide? There were several videos, but most of them.
Yes, that's the exact one.
Okay. So I can text this to you or whatever is easiest. This link.
Yes, and text it to the Zoom.
Okay, you find it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Huh. It might take me a minute to find those.
It's okay, y'all have been waiting.
Yeah, they're also listed in the Native Plant Society website underneath the resources and then. The Vimeo
Yeah, it's
gallery.
just, I couldn't say for sure whether it was the
Yeah,
same one.
they were there.
We'll just leave that screen up. Did you send a link?
No, I don't know. I just don't know what email it was in. If someone has
Bob
some-
says that you're in, are you in there?
You're already in Zoom, right? I just don't know how to get to the Zoom because I don't know what any of the many parts, but this is the probably the Zoom windows. It's real one.
I'll think they.
And you can text it to me and 540-577.
One second, with my phone.
I thought I remembered how to get this active. For mine, but I thought I remembered it doesn't activate.
540 and
577-378. Like the green cast.
it should have been sent.
Yes, there it is. Okay. I hope this is the one that's, there are two versions of it, one was blurry and one was just. It's not.
You can back out of this if you want, it's a whole list.
I don't have the app on.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. What's this? What's this? What's this? All right, this looks readable. We're off. See if I can put it on full screen. Get out of this business. I don't see a full screen button.
This is a soup to nuts meeting help. The graphic key is really great and you can get command through really fast, but you may be curious, you may actually want to go through the dichotomous keys and you may want to teach someone how to do this. So the example that I'm giving you here, you would be able to find it in your county, the species, in every single county native.
Yes.
So if you want to walk somebody
No, if you just exit out of the, that select, yeah, and
through
then.
this, it hits on a couple points that are common
There we go.
in keying that may be new to you. One is the arrangement, so deciding opposite versus dominant. And the other issue is leaf complexity, whether you're dealing with a simple leaf or whether you're dealing with a compound leaf, a leaf with leaflets. Those are common decision points. Another situation that you'll often find yourself in is that the plant you're dealing with is sterile. There are no fruits and there are no flowers. And a lot of times the key will ask you a little bit about the flowers and the fruits, but they will also include vegetative information sometimes. So this is reality, right? So it helps to know where you are when you see this plant. So in this case, this is in my backyard. I am living in the Piedmont of Loudoun County, and I'm on the edge, sunny edge of the wooded wetland. And just some observations, it's about 4 feet high, it's multi-stem. And as I said before, it's leaves only, and we're also in late March. So right there, you are narrowing it down dramatically. So going soup to nuts through the dichotomous key is going to take about 16 pages. So settle in. So next slide. Okay, so starting at the top, you click the dichotomous keys, and then we're just saying we don't know anything about the major plant groups or the families. We don't know what genus it is to sort of jump in. We're just going to start with the master key right at the top. So next slide. Okay, so what you see here are 3 screenshots that are a little pixelated, but 3
Yeah, this is
screenshots
the one you'll come to.
of the key as it appears in the Flora app. So starting on the left-hand side is the first screen that you would go to, you would be presented with. And you are presented with 2 decision points. And this will essentially help you choose between whether you're dealing with a fern or whether you're dealing with something that's not a fern. And so we definitely choose this lead. So we click on 3, which will bring us to the middle
Okay, this is where the problem occurs, so I'm gonna have to walk you through this. Somehow, we went from 1A, 1B to 3A, 3B to 2A, 2B. So when you click on this, you're gonna get this page. So you need to go ahead and do that on your phone. You'll see this page, and then it'll send you back to this page. She's gonna talk about this page, and then she's gonna back up and talk about this page again. She set up her slideshow. So we'll just kind of just go ahead and go through 2 so you can get to 3. Does that make sense?
Okay, and this is going to ask us something about, its habit. So for instance, in the first lead of 3A, it is asking you if the plants are woody, trees or shrubs, subshrubs and rosette shrubs with perinating structures borne on long, live, above ground woody stems or plexes. I think I actually set this off incorrectly. It should be, we should be choosing 3A, so I just have to move that arrow up.
That's
But
right.
if you do, you get to the next panel, and it is asking you to.
You would have done this first, what she's doing now.
Shift it around. I don't know how this happened. You're
It's
dealing
better.
with, terrestrial plants, and so you would be choosing the of 2B. So plants are terrestrial,
And then there are 3. So
wetland or
2B
flood,
to 3A.
substrate and floating water. So you would click on that, okay?
Now it
Next
should
one.
be good from here on. 2B to 3A. And
Um,
now,
Then it's asking about the stem.
is everybody good? You don't follow that? I'm sorry about that. The rest of this video will work.
So on the left-hand side, the next pair of couplets that we're dealing with is 4A and 4B. Is asking if the stems are fleshy versus if the stems are not fleshy and flattened. They're going to be usually brown, and the leaves are present, and so we would choose that particular lead. So that's number 6. Then we go to the middle panel, and this is asking you more about the habit. So again, you've got a pair of couplets, or 2 leads in a couplet. We have 5A and 5B. So in this key, we're going from 4A, 4B, 5A, 5B. So sort of moving through the key. And the choice is that we're definitely dealing with a plant that is a shrub. And the leaves are usually many and distributed along the stem. So crawline is a word, again, it's hyperlinked, so you can look up the definition very easy by clicking on it. That just means that they are borne along the stems. The leaf arrangement is very wide here. The leaves can be alternate, opposite, furled, and that will bring us to choosing number 7. Will bring us to the right-hand panel. And so now we've sort of skipped ahead a little bit more on the key. We're now at the couplet of 7A and 7B. And this is asking us about the leaves at the first. It's asking if the leaves are stiff and needle-like, and it's basically asking us, are we dealing with an evergreen or a gymnosperm? Definitely not dealing with the gymnosperm. In this case, we would choose number 8, which is the lead that leads to angiosperm. We're definitely not dealing with an evergreen. So we click 8, which brings us to the next screen. And so those leads that we just walked through, in many cases, are pretty simple. Like, is it a woody plant? Does it have stiff leaves or soft leaves? You can probably do that looking at the plant very closely. But this next set of leaves is going to ask you to look very closely at the plant. And so this is why I've included images of this plant, so you can see the decision points and how I make them. The couplet that you're presented with, 8A and 8B, asks you leaf arrangement. And this is a really frequent question in keeping. And I show you 2 pictures here. One in the middle panel is the branches along the stem. These branches, you can see they're clusters of leaves. Those branches are opposite on that stem. And a rule of thumb, because of the way plants grow, if the branches are branching opposite, the leaves are going to be branching opposite as well. And so in the middle panel here, I have the lateral branches. They are definitely opposite. On the right-hand panel, I show you a zoom in to one of those little lateral branches where the leaves are starting to emerge. And I have the yellow arrows pointing to the bases of 2 compound leaves. The bracket, that yellow bracket, refers to 1 compound leaf. So you can see sort of there's a central petiole or rachis, and from that central petiole or rachis, there are leaflets diverging. And you can see that it has a pair right next to it. That's what those 2 yellow arrows are. So this plant, this woody shrub, definitely has opposite leaves, for sure. So we choose number 9, and that brings us to the next page of the key. And then this is going to ask you about, again, you're sort of working through different sets of keys. It's going to ask you, again, are the leaves whorled or are they opposite? And you're going to say they are most definitely opposite. If they were whorled, there would be 3 or more leaves diverging from that 1 point on the stem. So we choose number 10 and go to the next page. Okay, so now we are on to couplet 11A and 11B, and it's asking us about leaf complexity. So again, leaf arrangement, leaf complexity are the really common ones. Here it's asking us, are we dealing with a simple leaf or are we dealing with a compound leaf? And in my fingertips here, I'm holding the entirety of 1 leaf. And you can tell that this leaf is compound because it has a central petiole or what we call a rachis. And then you can see 5 leaflets arranged off of that central petiole. And you can see its partner sort of to the right-hand side. So that's its other pair on the other side. So these are definitely compound leaves. So we choose number 11, which takes us to the right-hand panel on the screen. And so now we have moved to an entirely different key in the app. You can see on the upper line, it says we went from the D key to key I. So now we're dealing with a whole new set of numbered couplets, sort of ricocheting us through the floor of Virginia. And so we're now in key I, and the name of this key is Woody Angiosperms with opposite compound leaves. And we are presented with a choice. Are the leaves palmately compound or are they pinnately compound? And with pinnate compound, the leaflets are arranged like pinna on a feather of a bird. Palmate would be leaflets that diverge like fingers on a palm. In this case, it's most definitely pinnate. So we would choose the leaf, so click number 12, which will bring us to, we're getting close to the end, to further down the key, and it's asking us if this plant is a woody vine, a liana, or is it a shrub or a tree? It's definitely a shrub. It's 13. Go to the panel on the right-hand side, and now it gets down to brass tacks. It's really asking us to count things. And so this is where you start to get overlapping descriptions. And so you have to read the entirety of the lead to really make sure you're going in the right direction. The first lead is asking, telling us that the leaflets would be 3 to 7, and strictly once pinnate, leaflets with very few forced teeth. The first year stems are green, and then it tells us something about the fruit, which is completely irrelevant because we don't have it. The second lead is saying, well, the leaflets are 3 to 15, that's our description. But then it goes on to say that the leaflets are very, very evenly serrated. So we're on the right-hand panel here. And if you look at these leaflets, these serrations are pretty much from the base of the leaflet all the way up to the apex. There are plenty. Again, we don't have fruit, so we just have to go with that lead. And sometimes you can sort of make a little note about, okay, this is like where in the key I sort of branched off, maybe a little bit, not with a guess, but with sort of a little leap of faith that this is the right way to go. So you have to backtrack. So we choose this lead, click number 14. And now we are getting down to, they're asking us about fruits. We don't have fruits, so we have to read further in. It says, is your plant a shrub or a small tree? Stems hollow or pithy, and the perennial prominently grew on the upper side. Freshly somewhat fleshy mixer. And the other one says the plant is a small to large tree, stem solid and woody, and petiole nearly round in cross section. And so here I bent back the petiole on the seed. And you can actually see there's a U-shaped groove where that arrow is pointing to. It's definitely not round in cross section. And I'm definitely doing the shrub, although this species can grow so large that you. So you click number 15, and that gets you to family. And that shifts you over on the right-hand side of the viburnum. So this is the viburnum family. And you've got a choice between two genera. And the choice is looking at the leaf complexity again. It's asking you, are your leaves innately compound or are they simple? In which case, you're definitely dealing with the genus Sympathus. And so you click 16 and you get to the end. The next page. Okay, so you've got two species as a choice. And it's either racemosa or it's canadensis. And the inflorescences are very distinctive between these two species, but this thing is sterile. And so it asks you about the pith of the stems. And in this case, in racemosa, the pith of the stems is brown, whereas the pith of Sambucus canadensis is white. And so as I was making this demo, I realized I had to go back out to my garden and with my pair of clippers to show you this. And so this is also a reminder that sometimes people will send you pictures and they don't send you the picture of the crucial detail. And so here's a picture. Clearly the central part of the stems is quite white. So this is definitely Sambucus canadensis, but we need to verify. So we click on that species description and read it. So next page. And so you can read the species description, particularly the phenology. It would be leafing out or flowering in late April. In the habitat and status, it mentions that it likes damp and wet soils and fields, clearing conditions. If you look at the distribution map, it's absolutely feasible that I would see this in Loudoun County. And I always like the comment section because sometimes it's just the dead random. You're like, yep. And the note in here, it says, it is one of the first woody plants to leaf out in the spring. And indeed, this thing was leafing out in February. So this is the common elderberry, and probably half of you knew it already, but this is one that you can easily find to sort of walk people through the nuts side of this. And then as a comparison, you could also probably get it to species with the graphic key very, very quickly, because there are not many woody things with opposite leaves and common.
Okay, so that really did get to the nitty gritty, and most people, at some point, it narrows it down enough that you can like go to the range, figure out it's without having to keep going to that button. Is there a U shape in the stem? What color is the pith? Go to the range map, or you can go to pictures and see how it looks. But if you still can't do that, the dichotomous key will take you through all the nitty gritty, all those nitty gritty things. And we'll help you figure out exactly. So I hope that was helpful in going through all the steps. The only other thing I have is sort of like not really a game, but I have 8 possible tasks that we can use the app for. We'll do it, and it's a great practice. It's actually the funnest part of the whole program. I'm sorry that it's 8:30 got to yet, so I don't know whether you want to stay and do that or not. It's actually it was the funnest part to prepare. It's probably the funnest part. Are y'all on board? I could done at the picnic or before. It could. It's up to y'all. It's like I said, it's 8 tasks. Just using the various parts of the app that we've talked about to answer questions that I think want to ask. Not necessarily, none of them are actually planned. Somebody sends you, pretending somebody to send you a text you a picture. Is it this? The other tasks are all other things like what to plan. You want to save that for the picnic?
So is this on Zoom?
Yeah.
Oh.
What do the people on the Zoom think? Should we save that for the, can you hear me? Did you hear me? Are they still there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I have these 8 tasks that practice. It's, as I was saying, it's probably the most fun part of my presentations. 8 things to practice the use of the app. People in the room are saying that they might prefer to save it till the picnic, so we want input from the Zoom.
I
It
think,
probably take 20 minutes to go through.
yeah, I can't stay on that long, so I don't know about the others on the Zoom
It
call.
might not take minutes, but I'm just guessing. A picnic or today, 15 minutes. to go
Yep. Yeah,
through. Would you rather
Beth,
wait till the picnic?
yep.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome. I have gone, I went to Heritage Park to kind of look around from the lower parking lot, and what I have learned when I have done the same thing is that it's not a walk at all. You know, I mean, it's like find a plan. People can go in different directions. And I'll try to stay with the side of everything. But you go and it takes a while to identify. You don't know because most of y'all are good enough at plants that if it's been easy to identify plant, you already know. You know, like which particular kind of golden lights. That might be what you would want to look at. And that takes a while. And it also takes a while because you're not, at least as observant as I think I am. You know, it's like I go through and I go, well, it can't be that. And then I have to go back and realize that I answered some of the questions wrong. So I'm just saying, you don't need to wear your hiking boots. Because it takes a while when you're trying to identify things that are going to you. So you can walk around if you want to, but for practicing the app, you won't get. All right. Thank you so much. You're welcome. I hope it was helpful. There's a lot more in there than just, to me, to do the 5 questions. There's a lot.
Right, we're kind of running late, only a few business items to mention. The most important one is this Saturday will be the picnic and the practice of using the Florida Virginia app at Heritage Park. So that'll be good. There are other events. Look in Jennifer's email. She put out a ton of events for September. It is a crowded month. There's already probably like 6 events have gone by. It's pretty amazing. And the big one that we have coming up for the next meeting would be election officers. That's needs to be done by next meeting. And I believe we're still looking for a candidate for vice president. Correct. And so the vice president's job is basically what the president does when the president isn't around. So if right now, if I wasn't here, the vice president would run the meeting, host the board, runs the board meetings, not necessarily hosting them, and is basically just make sure that things get done. And you have the pleasure going, like tomorrow night, I will be attending the quarterly state meetings. That's a requirement of the president or someone the president identifies. So that'll be a longer meeting, so I'm pretty sure. So, because it's going up to it's the last meeting before the state meeting in Harrisonburg area that's coming up in 2 weekends from now. So, is there anything else that people need to mention, Brent? Is what?
The grant for the students.
Right, and that is applications for the grants is coming up, right? In a few weeks.
September 11th for the 2 students for
Oh.
conference.
Oh, that I was thinking of the other grant. Right, so there are 2 grants have been approved by the board for the students to attend the state meeting, and that's pretty good. We don't have anybody signed up yet, right? I don't believe anybody's signed up, right? So that makes two people that can go attend the meeting. So if people want to sign up, they need to sign up.
They
Pretty
go
soon.
to our, chapter website, the application.
Right, so everything's on the chapter website, VNPS chapter website, New River. There's an application form there, people sign it out, and then they'll be able to go to meeting coming up in 2 weekends. So that's a pretty good deal. And they can even get a ride, so. So, anything else for tonight? I thank everybody for tolerating the technical issues. They were,
Yes.
pretty, that was, I'm really pleased that they were worked out, even though I was kind of in a fog for most of it, trying to figure out all these things. So thank you very much.
Have to work on my phone, just cutting out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we weren't the only ones that had technical issues, because we saw that in a video. Other people recorded their problem too. All right, thank you very much for attending, and we'll see you next month or at the state meeting.
Okay, thank you.
And the picnic this weekend.